Hello there guys, Francis Gray here, and I know what you're thinking, Frank, it's Christmas time, where on earth is your Christmas build video? Well, no pun intended, it's all wrapped up and it's here for you right now in what I call Operation Upcycled Santa. I'll see you after this. Okay guys, so I found this in a charity shop and I paid a grand total of £8, which is a bargain. Now this has some weight to it and it's solid resin, so for £8 this is actually a bargain. Now the only negative is there's a few little defects here and there. I will point those defects out in a moment. But overall, I am really happy with this, and I do think it's worth saving. So what is wrong with this? Now, there is a few scuffs, like here, and also there's like a bit of like resin that has dripped here, and then there's some kind of like glue has fixed on this sign here. And it's quite prominent on this side here. I hope that's showing up on the camera. There's another defect here. His eyes could be a lot better painted. I don't know if they're showing up or not because there's quite a lot missing from that. This whole Merry Christmas is very flat and matte colours. It might look better on camera than it does to the naked eye because it's just not very... it's very underwhelming, I suppose. So, and there's also like an extra bit of resin or chip here as well. It's very bland on the back, as you can see, and there's quite a lot of decolorization on the whites on not only his hair but all like the whites going around his body as well. And as you can see, there's like quite a lot of like overspill in the paint. So even though I do really like him, I think he is in need of a much nicer paint job. So let's start with stage 1.
Step 1. Operation Cleanup. Okay guys, nothing too special at the moment, just going to go in with various files and grinding bits. And I'm just going to take off and smooth down all the points that I've just pointed out, and then hopefully we can get this looking a little bit more tarted up. So after that clean up, we went in with some white wood filler, and then I went over some of the imperfections and then tried to smooth it out. We're going to go ahead and leave this to fully dry, and then we can go in with some files or some sanding paper and we can make that nice and smooth. Okay, so now that all that is now smoothed, we can go on to part 2, which is white prime. Step 2, white prime. Okay, so I'm just going to go in with a regular everyday white prime, no fancy brands or anything. And I'm just going to go ahead and give it 2 thin coats, and then I'm going to try and make sure that I get into all the little nooks and crannies, especially around the lettering, because that will be a lot harder to get to. Okay, so now that that white prime has been left to fully dry and it's now looking a lot better and a lot smoother, for the next stage is part 3, which is sling and paint. Step 3, sling and paint. Okay, so now that we've got a blank surface to work from, I'm going to start with going in with some black acrylic, and I'm just going to go over and give 2 or 3 coats to Santa's gloves and all of the lettering. Now the lettering is going to be a pain in the butt because I've got to get into all the little nooks and crannies of all the different the inside of all the letters. So some of these are going to be hard to get to, so this is going to take me a while to get right.
You get the idea.
Okay, so that took a long time to do, I won't lie. There's a few parts where I felt like throwing out the window. but all in all, I got there in the end. So for the next stage, I'm going to go in with a simple base coat of acrylic red. Same again, nothing too fancy. This is just a thin layer spread out, left to dry, and then I can go over and give it a few top-up coats later on, and then we can make Santa's clothes look a lot more traditional and vibrant.
Okay, so while we're leaving that base coat of red to dry, for the next stage I'm going to go in with some dark flesh, and I'm going to add a base coat to his face, his nose and his lips.
So now that that base coat is dried, for the next stage I'm going to go in with some light flesh from Model Colour, and I'm going to go ahead with a dry brush and give a general highlight to Santa's flesh.
Moments later.
Yeah, I think that'll do the job. I'll leave that to dry, and then we can crack on with the next step.
The next step.
So now that the red's been given a couple of coats, I'm going to go in with just some regular masking tape, and I'm going to wrap it around Santa's waist so we've got a nice crisp line, so we can go ahead and give him a black belt. So same again, just general black acrylic, nothing too fancy. Give it at least 2 coats and then just leave to dry. So now comes the satisfying part, peeling the masking tape.
Yeah.
Step 4. 3D printing. Okay, so I went into one of my favourite softwares, Matter Control, and I took my time and I created a general basic shape of a belt buckle, and then I went ahead and made a general shape for some 3D glasses or glasses frames. So now that these are made, let's get printing. Okay, so now that we have our parts printed, I'm going to go in with some silver from Model Air, and I'm going to go ahead and give a couple of coats to the belt buckle and also the glasses. Okay, so now that we have the glasses, for the next stage I need to go in and put them in place, and then use the hairdryer, and then being very careful not to burn my fingers off, try to heat up the filament of the glasses and then push it in place so it takes a natural form around Santa's face, so they look just natural and they just hang in place. And then once that's done, we can then go ahead and mark out where the inside rims of the frames are, and then we can go ahead and start painting some cartoonish eyes. And in order to start that, I'm going to go ahead with just some general white from Model Air.
Last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye.
So at this point I went in with, again, just general black acrylic. And now an electric blue from Game Colour, just to show up some colour for the irises. And now I'm going to go in with a detailing black pen, just to make it a little bit sharper and a little bit crisper. And now that that's done, we'll go ahead and add the glasses just to see if it all lines up. And I'm glad to say it does.
Yeah, baby, yeah!
So now that the glasses fit in place, we need to go ahead and do the same treatment for the belt buckle. So I'm just going to take an old towel, put it on the back side of Santa's back, and then lay him down, and then we're going to get our trusty very flat belt buckle, and then we're going to put it into place. Same again, try not to burn my fingers off, and then heat it up so the PLA slightly melts, and then it'll warp and it'll take the perfect shape of Santa's belly. So once that is then put in place, we can think about go ahead and gluing it. Step 5. Glitter and sprinkles. Okay, so in order to get this Merry Christmas sign to pop, I'm going to go ahead and paint it a base coat of gold first, and then I'm going to go ahead and use Glorious Gold from Games Colour, and then I'm just going to take my time and build the colour up slowly. So I don't want to slap it on because I don't want it to get into all the little nooks and crannies of the letters, so I just want to take my time and dry brush only the front facing part. So this is going to take me a while to do this, but once we're happy and it's nice and vibrant and gold, we can then go ahead and then apply some sparkles or sprinkles.
Meanwhile.
And for the next part, I'm going to go ahead and glue the glasses in place with just regular everyday super glue. Okay guys, I'll go ahead and leave that to dry.
Now back to the glitter thing.
So, while going around my local shops, I saw this the other day, which was some little jars of glitter from Korea Box, and inside you get metallic red, gold, silver and a metallic green, so perfect for Christmas related projects. So yeah, I decided to use gold and silver for this build, so we'll crack on with the gold for now. So I found that this stuff is best used when you like dab it on. Instead of painting it on, you dab it on, and it seems to get a lot more like gold flake on there, rather than if you're just putting it on with a paintbrush and you're moving it around, it just moves the glitter. So yeah, so that's my tip if you're ever going to use this type of paste, is to dab it on rather than paint it on. So while we're waiting for the gold flake to dry its first layer, I thought I might as well go ahead and add a first layer of the silver glitter paint, and I'm going to apply this to all the white areas of Santa's clothing. So the brim and the bauble of his hat, and then those white areas near his gloves, and then obviously the white parts on his jacket. So yeah, so I'm just same again, just dabbing effect. Gonna take my time, make sure it doesn't overlap into any of the areas that we've already pre-painted, and then just leave that to dry, and then just build up the colours slowly. And now we're waiting for the gold and the silver to dry. I thought I'll go ahead and just do some general top-up areas of Santa's face. So mainly the darker areas of his mouth, and then I thought, what kind of Santa would he be if he didn't have those like rosy red cheeks that he's always portrayed as having. And then same again, just adding a little bit of shading here and there, and just making this character really come to life. And now to make the belt buckle really shine, I'm going to go in with my trusty chrome marker, and I'm going to go over the surface layer of it, and then that will make this look really nice. Seriously, if you haven't got one of these chrome pens, do yourself a favour, please go out and buy them, because they are absolutely brilliant. So after multiple layers of gold and silver, I then decided to go ahead and use some of this stuff, which is this like blue UV paint. Now I went ahead and reviewed these paints in a previous video, and spoilers, they're not as great quality as I was hoping for. So one thing I did find out is, yes, it's not fantastic at glowing in the dark, but it does give like a blue tinge to whatever you paint on it, especially if it's on a lighter colour like white. So in order to make Santa's clothing stand out separate from the white of his beard, I thought this would work perfect. So I'm going to go over and just do a small thin layer of all the white areas, and not only will that make this look have like a slight blue tinge to make it look separate, it will also go ahead and add as a sealant to the glitter. So win-win. And while that's drying, I then decided I really didn't like the gold glasses, so I thought I would go ahead and repaint them back to the original black. That I could have just saved myself a lot of time and a lot of hassle, but I don't know, it just didn't seem to look right to the eye, so I think black frames works a lot better. And now I will leave you with my beautiful singing voice. I wish it could be Christmas every day.
What are you bloody playing that, lad? You know YouTube will copyright you.
Yeah, okay, Norman, I understand. Yeah, we don't want that pesky YouTube copyright claim us. So, yeah, well, the black frames turned out nice. So, let's leave them to dry, and then we can take it to the shed and give it some much needed gloss varnish.
Soon after.
Okay, off into the spray booth, and I'm going to use some regular gloss varnish, and I'm going to take my time and make sure I get into all the nooks and crannies of that Merry Christmas sign, because I'm quite paranoid with not being able to get that right. And yeah, just gonna go over all the surfaces and then just leave it to dry, and then I think he's done.
Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas!
That's it, I'm calling Santa. Okay guys, I hope you've enjoyed this one. Me myself, I've really enjoyed upcycling this used Santa and making him a lot more vibrant and new. it's nice to break away from the traditional kind of modelling side of the hobby, and it's nice to do something holiday themed to help you get into that spirit. So this has been one really nice festive build, and yeah, if you've enjoyed it, please slap that like button, share on Facebook and Twitter because it helps new people find the YouTube channel, which I'm always appreciative. Thank you for any help. If you have any comments, comment below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And if you haven't already, please smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future builds. And if you want to be a really awesome viewer, please take 5 minutes to check out my Patreon page, where with your help we can do these videos full time rather than part time, which means more videos and content for you and a lot more work for me. So once again, I'm Francis Gray and this is the Upcycle Santa project. I'll see you in the next build, and a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you all.